Call to order, Board of Trustees regular meeting, Thursday, July 21st, 2022, at 5:30 PM. Roll call. Trustee Mercer.
Present.
Trustee Chioletta is absent. Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow.
Present.
Trustee Lopez.
Present.
Thank you. Opening prayer, Trustee Mercer, would you say the prayer? And Trustee Lopez, would you do the pledge of allegiance, please?
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather here today to conduct business for the village of Milan. Help us make the right decisions to take the village forward. And watch over each and every one of us as we go about our business. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda. Before I ask for an approval of the agenda, on number 8, action discussions, letter J, we need to table that one.
I make a motion to table letter J and make a motion to accept to approve the agenda with the deletion of J.
I second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow, second by Trustee Lopez, to approve the agenda with the table of letter J. Trustee Mercer.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you. Public comments. Do we have anybody that's going to comment? Everybody stood up, so we'll continue. Approval of minutes, Board of Trustees regular meeting, June 16th, 2022. Board of Trustees special meeting, June 17th, 2022. Board of Trustees special meeting, June 21st, 2022. And Board of Trustees workshop meeting, June 9th, 2022.
And, sorry, there was a typo on there. We had ended up canceling the meeting for June 9th because we had a power outage. So there are no meetings for June 9th.
Okay, and let me read it again. Approval of minutes for Board of Trustees regular meeting, June 16th, 2022. Board of Trustees special meeting, June 17th, 2022. And Board of Trustees special meeting, June 21st, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting for June 16th, the special meeting for June 17th, and the special meeting for June 21st.
And I'll second the motion.
Motion by Trustee Lopez, second by Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow. Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow,
Yes.
Trustee Mercer.
Yes.
Thank you. Action discussion. Acceptance of municipal court cash journal for June 2022. Do we have any questions on it?
No. I make a motion to approve the municipal court cash journal for June 2022.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow, second by Trustee Mercer. Mayor Pro Tem Brumbelow,
Yes.
Trustee Mercer,
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you. Approval of finance report, June 2022.
All right. Can you guys see the board? All right.
Can you see the one?
No.
No.
But that's okay. I can follow along.
You can put it over here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is our finance report for quarter 4 and the fiscal year 2022. This year we focused on the 5 SMART goals. That's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. we worked on our staffing issues, filling vacancies, and working towards more competitive, better pay schedule. Department heads learns to manage their budgets both by fund and by line item. All employees took purchasing training to learn the proper purchasing procedures from the Village of Milan. Excuse me. The Village of Milan employees worked on teamwork, efficiency, ethical behavior, and being fiscally responsible with taxpayers' money. The Village of Milan Finance Department worked to ensure all purchases were necessary and best price available. The Finance Department and Billing Department continued the task of cleanup and worked on cleaning up internal controls in both payables and receivables. This last fiscal year, we completed 5 projects. We completed the wastewater treatment plant design. It was 100% grant funded. We completed Kernsfield. It was capital outlay, along with junior money on Kernsfield. Airport road design, 100% grant funded, and Marable Park capital outlay. And those were all completed this year. What's coming up in the next fiscal year is our airport road phase 1. That's going to be a big difference in our final budget. We'll get to that in a little bit. We're under the remodel on the fire department. The water meter replacement is under construction. They're finishing up that. They just got the last of the meters in and they're getting those put in. We're waiting for one motion. Okay. And then the soccer field is under construction. And then the swimming pool is under construction as well. So those are all projects that we're still working on. Pending projects that are coming, we're waiting mostly on signed agreements, and one we're waiting on the funding process. We're still working on that. The airport bridge, water system improvements, airport road phase 3, Cottonwood Drive, Kernsfield, police department vehicle, fire department off-road vehicle, and then the wastewater system is the one that we're waiting, or we're working on the funding process still. So our total project funding is $18,231,443.18. My goodness, I could not say that. So I wanted to take a minute and just go over how good we've done in our operating funds. Some of our funds that you guys are aware of, fire, LEPF, some lodger's tax, those are all special funds. We can't just use them for anything. But these funds really help the Village of Milan keep operating. So I wanted to look at the growth that we made in this year because it really was a huge gain. So in the fiscal year 22, our general fund increased $426,730.34. Our corrections fund increased $19,064.50. Our street fund increased $96,628.79, and our joint utility fund increased $310,983.11. Now, this isn't project funding. This is money that we used wisely. We saved what we needed to. Our goal is to get these in our coffers to where we can start doing some of the other improvements that we want to do that aren't necessarily capital outlay or grant projects, but projects that we can fund on our own. So we're getting our cash balances where they need to be. So this is our end of year report. Our GRT distribution was down a little bit in June, about $21,000 lower than it was in May. We don't know the reason for that. Sometimes everybody goes on vacation later in the summer. We're not sure, but it went down. But overall, I put this here because I think this is an important note for us. In 2019, we collected $1,926,855.65 in GRTs, and it slowly and steadily increased. Well, last year we collected $2,279,037.47 in GRTs. This year we collected $2,968,756.92, which is a $700,000 growth. That's huge. So that was a big growth for us. Here's our pooled cash report. don't mind my little notes here, it was end of year, so I was figuring it out. We did end our fiscal year, with 5,106,516.67 in our bank account. For our check certification for this, month, we made a total of 78 payments, 129 payables, 78 regular checks, 1 bank draft, for a total of 225,934.57. I do have a bar this month, this month. And the first two are the ones that we needed to look at the most. This is one that we need to adjust, so that we do not exceed budget authority. All the others are just cleanup items for end of year, make sure we're not exceeding. I am very pleased to say when we put the quarterlies and the end of year together, we did not exceed, our budget authority in any fund, with the exception of the 706, which we're correcting with this one. So do you guys have any questions on that?
Any questions? Any questions? I need a motion to approve, please.
Just take them.
I make a motion to approve the financial report.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble, second by Trustee Mercer. Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Mercer.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we move to, resolution 2022-027, bar 12.
That's the bar that we were just discussing. I believe you guys got a copy of that. As I said, the top two are the adjustment that we need to not exceed budget authority in the 706. And, all of the others are just house cleaning items.
Okay, any questions? Anybody have
No.
any questions?
No.
If not, need a motion to approve it.
I make a motion to approve, resolution 2022-027, bar 12.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble, second by Trustee Lopez. Trustee Mercer.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2022-028, fourth quarter budget report.
This one's pretty quick. I have it set up the same way that I always show you. This is our quarterly report. This is what I submitted to the DFA. The adjusted cash balance at the end was $5,722,463.76. As I said, nothing was over budget. We did an excellent job at managing our budget this year. I'm very proud of all the department heads and everybody that worked so hard to get that done. So the same pooled cash report that you've seen in our monthly report is the same one that I used to finish our year off. So the balance is the same. If you look here, before I put in the investments, the cash balance is matched. And the reason I do this is because our investments are not cash in our bank account, with the exception of the two savings accounts in the there's two in the 101 and there's one in transit. So those do count as cash. So those are included, but our NMFA loans do not count as cash in our bank account. They are cash. So we put them as investments, but to show that we are reporting the correct expenditures and revenues, that's how I do it. I don't put those in until after. So that's on the next slide. So when you subtract the revenues, or take the revenues and subtract the expenditures, you come up with $2,047,484.59, which matches our budget report on the fund summary. That was our fiscal activity. That was a credit to us. We were not in the deficit. These are some more double checks that I just like to show you guys every time so that you know exactly what I'm reporting to DFA and you have no questions. So the adjustment column on that LGBMS report, I hope you remember at the beginning of this fiscal year, we had a lot of cash balance discrepancies. So that was the same all year. So this time, we did add a big adjustment, and that is to our, fire department, because we have a fire department NMFA loan that is held by NMFA, so it's an investment to us, so it needs to still be counted as money for us, because it belongs to us, we've taken the loan. So, as you can see, our adjustment column that goes to DFA matches what was on the report that I am submitting. This is our investments, this is the one that breaks down all the investments, again, this is the big change to that one, the $510,000 for the building remodel for the fire department. Again, they match. LGBMS, I just want to take a minute and say, when these reports come to us, they come to us standardized. We can't change them, and they round everything. So I always put this down at the bottom to show how much rounding was done. So it was $11 this quarter. So this was our final submission to the, will be our final submission to LGBMS with your approval of resolution 2022-20028, if there are no questions.
Do we have any questions? Trustee Merchant? No?
No.
If not, I need a motion to approve, please.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2022-028, the fourth quarter budget report.
And I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble, second by Trustee Lopez. Trustee Mercer,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble,
Yes.
Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
thank you.
All right, so this,
Resolution 2022-029, final FY 2022/2023 budget.
I was in a hurry to get it over with. So this is our budget for fiscal 2023. We do have some outside funding requests that we heard last week at the workshop. Do you want to do that now, Mayor, or would you like me to present the budget first?
We can, whichever one's better for you.
Your call, the slide's here.
Okay, go ahead and do it.
Okay, I'm looking for guidance on how you want to fund these following funding requests. The first one was for Lava Soil and Water District. They were funded fiscal year 22 with nothing, and they're asking for $2,000 in fiscal year 23. Is there anybody from Lava here? Any discussion on this one?
I don't have anything. No.
Do we need to vote on it?
Yes. Okay, on that one,
Vote on it, so we don't vote on it. They're included in the budget.
They are included in the budget.
Okay, so direction to include it.
So no vote, just direction to include from the.
oh,
Oh, okay.
all right. So what you need is what amount of money we would like to see approved.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's in there, and that's basically just to make sure that we are covered.
Yeah. My suggestion on that one would be somewhere like 1,500.
On the lava soil.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, on the CCEDF, their request for 2023 is 40,000. Their funded amount for fiscal year 22 was 25,000.
I actually think that that needs to go lower because I haven't seen anything by the CCEDF, any type of projects moving forward.
I agree, but how much for?
I don't have an amount.
It's 25 now. so
25, we,
Do you want to go 20, 15? Trustee Mercer, what do you?
I'm like I said, I'm learning all this and trying to figure out, I'm not 100% sure what all they do for us. So I'm
to the majority.
What he said.
I would say 15.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, the two trustees say 1,500.
1,500 or 15?
15,000.
15,000, I mean.
15,000.
15,000.
Hopefully we'll see something within this year.
Okay, next we have the Chamber of Commerce. They're asking for 25,000.
I also thought that was kind of high and would like to see maybe half of that.
And I would do 10.
You went to 10. That
I
sounds,
would feel comfortable.
Trustee
Okay.
Mercer, what do you say?
Well, going over what they went over during the workshop, it does look like the Chamber of Commerce is wanting to do some things like billboards and things for us in that respect.
mhm.
As long as they would follow through with what their plan is showing, I would say, you know. There was a few things I didn't like in there, like a 15% fee for them to manage it.
Yeah.
Which I didn't, so I would take that out right away, and then the postage of $1,000, I was thinking 20, but. Cause I think they're gonna put our name out there on the billboards and what.
Okay, we have two 15s and
And the billboard was what, 10,000?
There was
that correct?
several on there.
You guys can ask questions, she's in the.
Where did I see that?
It was in her.
Yeah, they were, I forget what the billboards were. There was like one.
Here it is.
Did you find it? The billboards was, vinyl $1,400 per board times 4 boards was $5,600 and possible picture opportunity for 10,000. So that would be almost 16,000.
so are you fine with 15,000 for them?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Okay.
15,000?
Yeah.
Council of Government, asking for, in 2022, it was 13,500, correct? And now they're asking for 13,838. I think it's well worth it.
I think so too.
That we should leave alone. I think the club has done a lot for us. I think that is, that's my own personal, what do you think,
I'm
fine.
I think so too.
That's fine.
Mr. Mercer? What do you think?
Mhm.
I agree.
Okay, we'll go with 13. Recycled Seagull, they're asking for 1,500. Mr. Mercer?
I think that should be totally doable. I mean, they put stuff
Right.
out, they have promotional stuff. It gets people to recycle, which gives us a cleaner community.
I had a question on that. Would we have, with the stuff that gets out, would it have our logo on it or? No? So it wouldn't have anything saying,
No, because that's what the entire group is.
so then how would they promote the village?
I'm not saying it's gonna promote the village, but it's gonna get people to start recycling, which gives us a cleaner.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And they put those carry bags and other giveaways into it, so.
I'm okay with the 15.
Okay.
1,500?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Me
fine.
Okay,
Thank you for,
1,500.
thank you very much.
Okay.
So with that being said, we are fine, no adjustments need to be made. When I present the budget, it doesn't, that.
Okay.
Changes to the final budget for fiscal year 23. These are just changes from the interim to final. We did do some debt service changes. Of course, as we talked about earlier, multiple times, the building remodel for the fire department is a big deal. We changed a little in debt service, because we paid off a loan and we're almost finished with another one. Will be finished this year. So the debt service part of the interest part is going down. So those were some changes that we had to make. We did change a little bit of salaries, not the personal salaries that we voted on and approved before, but what we did is we moved some positions out of the streets department, which isn't completely self-sufficient, and moved them into the joint utilities department where they are self-sufficient. Our employees do an excellent job of helping out each other, so we felt comfortable that we wouldn't be cutting anybody short, because if somebody is needed on streets, they're still gonna go and help. So we did move those. We changed a little in the fire salaries, just as far as the insurance went. Insurance and benefits was a little low, so we did change that. Fuel was changed in all departments. We increased that because the rising prices of fuel doesn't look like it's going down anytime soon, unfortunately. All funds had changes to cash balances. That's what we talked about. I wouldn't know the actual cash balances until the first week of July or so, and so that did change. The state fire allotment, we found out, Daniel emailed me a couple weeks ago and let me know that we are getting more, so there was a change there. We added an NMDOT project, and this is the one that you're gonna see the biggest. When we did the interim budget, it was 8.9 million in revenue and 8.1 in expenses. We added a $3 million project, so it's now 11 and 11. So that, I don't want you to be shocked. Holy crap, where'd all this money come from? But it's just a project that we had to budget for. We did remove the JPA intercept. We had a JPA with regional waste. I don't know. I can never remember all their initials. Right, but that has, it's no longer in effect. We're not paying off that loan anymore. It was paid off this year, so we don't have to do that anymore. And we did increase training and per diem expenses, as well as small adjustments to, I want to say printing and copying, or just little things that needed to be tweaked a little bit and adjusted. So there's not a whole lot of changes. I think this is pretty little compared to what it was last year. The difference between interim and final last year was big. This isn't very much. So this is the one that I do. This is attached to a file that I upload into Tyler, so that our Tyler and our LGBMS match completely. So, except for Tyler doesn't round and LGBMS does. So there is the rounding difference here of $5.54. So this is the projected budget that we're asking for your approval. I did want to take the time to show that both our LGBMS upload and our Tyler upload match completely. They match exactly with the rounding difference in LGBMS. So our budgets will be completely aligned with what the state has this year, which will be really, really nice.
Yes.
I did include breakdowns in your packet, so if you have any questions or concerns about any of those, I'm more than happy to answer those questions. And if not, then I request approval of resolution 2022-29, approval of final fiscal year 23 budget submission.
Yes.
I just wanted to remind us that we just go back to the appropriation. Most chambers of commerce are nonprofits, so we're going to need to make sure we
Okay. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Questions?
So when I was going through the budget stuff, I noticed it says that there's no dollar amount for the cannabis fund. When would we start seeing fund?
Revenues for that?
Yes. When is that expected to start showing up?
Okay, so we were advised about April when it passed. that we needed to include the funds into our budgets, but budget them at zero, and we're gonna do it by bar throughout the year. So we'll do budget adjustments monthly. We won't probably see the first, impacts of the cannabis revenue until maybe next month, and it won't be much because we don't actually have that here in Milan yet. I know that some people are working on getting it here, it's just not, we're not getting GRTs locally from that yet. But we will get a part of the state. So we should, I hope, start seeing it next month. I hoped to see it in July, and it wasn't on this month either. So I'm not sure how it's all gonna break down. It's new. It's kind of like when they changed the compensating tax. We did like 8 budget adjustments last year for compensating tax. So we'll see how it goes. But hopefully soon, and for sure, once the businesses that are working on getting it here in the village limits, once they start, once all that's complete, then we'll definitely start seeing GRT for that.
And we have a few people trying to start businesses in that regards?
We had 2 that showed
Alright.
some interest, but I have not heard from them in the last month and a half, so I don't know if they're still going through with the state process or if they've been
Pulled
one
out.
of the ones that have pulled out.
Okay.
So sorry, that wasn't better news. I just don't know.
And that revenue will go into the general fund?
So it's going to stay in its own fund.
It's gonna have its own fund?
It will. Right now, they're not telling us how we can spend it, but we have to track it in its own fund. So for the time being, it will be it's called Fund 280, and it's cannabis something. And so we can move it. What we'll do when we do the bars, when we receive that, we'll say we received this much, and we can allocate it where we want to.
Okay.
Okay.
It should be 420, not 820.
All right. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
If not, I need a motion to approve.
This is on the resolution.
Yeah, 2022.
Dash,
dash
dash,
0.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-029. For the final fiscal year 2022-2023 budget.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by trustee Lopez, second by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble. Trustee Mercer,
Yes.
trustee Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble.
Yes.
Thank you. Consideration of professional services contract with economic development.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, members of the board, we were provided a contract which had requested the 40,000. That contract will have to be redone before it can be signed now that you all have made a decision as to what you will support them for.
Okay, so,
So do we table it? We can table it, yeah.
table it, okay. I need a motion to table. Consideration.
I make a motion to table the professional services contract with economic development.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble, second by trustee Lopez. Trustee Mercer,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble,
Yes.
trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2022-025, authorizing acceptance of Water Trust Board, project number 5677-WPF Funding Offer, Water Storage, Conveyance, and Delivery Project, Water System Improvements from the New Mexico Finance Authority.
Okay, so this project will be funded 20% loan and 80% grant. This is for the water system improvements that we've been discussing over the last year. So once this is approved, we will submit this to the Water Trust Board and wait for an agreement.
Questions?
No.
No.
Any questions? If not, need a motion to approve, please.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2022-025.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble, second by trustee Mercer. Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
trustee Mercer,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2022-026, acceptance of Water Trust Board Project number 5676. WPF Funding Offer, Flood Prevention Project, Airport Road, Rio San Jose Channel, CBC from the New Mexico Finance Authority.
This is a water trust loan / grant for the Airport Road Bridge, which is considered phase 2 of the project. We already have the design, so once we get the funding, we can start the bidding process and get that construction to flow through after phase 1 is complete, or alongside phase 1, depending on how fast we can get that going. This one is 10% loan and 90% grant.
Questions? Any questions? If not, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2022-026 for the Water Board Trust Project number 5676-WPF.
I'll second it.
Motion by trustee Mercer, seconded by trustee Lopez. Mayor Pro Tem Rumble,
Yes.
trustee Mercer,
Yes.
trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you. Memorandum of Understanding between the Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management Fire Marshal Division and the Security and Emergency Management Fire Marshal Division and the New Mexico Municipal or County Fire Department.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, this is actually an agreement that they sent out to require our fire department to be more active in some of the investigations and the processes that the state has been doing. This will tie our hands of our fire departments even more than they are now. So what we have done is opt out of this agreement. The state fire marshal's office does contact our fire department when they come in, and they do participate in inspections and such. But if we had approved this, well, then we would have been required to do even more paperwork, more on the spot, more responsibilities. So, and Daniel's here if you have questions as well.
Any questions? Any questions for the fire chief? Mercer? No?
No question.
If not, I need a motion.
So we're not approving it, right?
It's
tape.
just basically informational.
It's just for information. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we didn't need a motion. That was internal.
Okay. Next, we have resolution 2022-030, amendment to resolution 2022-001, open meeting, a resolution for the village of Milan.
So this is your annual open meetings act resolution that you pass every year in January. Because we have decided that workshops will not be taking place anymore, the only amendment to this resolution will be the deletion of section 2, where it states that we are holding a monthly meeting on the second Thursday of every month. So we'll just be taking that language out of the resolution so that people know we're not going to hold that meeting.
Okay. Questions?
Mm-mm.
Okay, this one I do need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-001.
030.
Oh, sorry. Oh, 030.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by trustee Lopez, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Rumble. Trustee Mercer,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rumble,
Yes.
trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we're gonna go into executive session pursuant to section 10-15-1H. The following matters may be discussed in closed session. Need a motion to go into closed session, please.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble, second by Trustee Mercer. Trustee Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble,
Yes.
Trustee Mercer,
Yes.
thank you. We're gonna reconvene the meeting, motion regarding matters discussed in executive session limited to those specified in motion closure and that no final action was taken as per New Mexico statutes, section 10-15-1. I need a motion to reconvene our meeting.
I'll make a motion to reconvene.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by trustee Mercer, second by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble. Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble.
Yes.
Trustee Mercer.
Yes.
Thank you. Updates, village manager for all other departments.
Okay, in your package, you'll find the information, for the fun club. The water department, of course, our people have been busy cutting weeds. We've had some leaks. We have hired 2 part-time people. And, they have said that those 2 individuals have been working out extremely well. And that's a lot to be said for that, because these gentlemen have just graduated high school this year. So they're local people, and they're very pleased with the work that they're doing. The fire department, of course, we'll have that report from our fire chief shortly. I have a report from the police department. We'll have that shortly as well. We have a report from the mechanic. He has slowed down because of budget restraints for this last quarter. However, he has been working on the shop. He's patched holes in the floor and cracks. He's moved things around to make it more convenient. He's done painting and sealing on the building. He's added shelves, and he has some inventory that he purchased prior, so he's been able to work. But if you will look at his report, you will find that there are several things, even though he slowed down, that he's been doing. And I have, what is the other report? Oh, the other report is from the animal control. She has removed 28 animals, trapped and deployed 10. She's not written any citations. She's returned 14 animals to their owners with warnings. She has been working. She's also going into a expanded time frame, work frame for her, which she works sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the evenings. So she's changing her time so that people don't get used to her working 9 to 5. So, which was a very good strategy. Also, we are in the process of advertising for an animal control and a code enforcement assistant. So we'll be able to cover more territory and take care of more issues that need to be taken care of in the village. And this will include her getting a certification as a floodplain person. So she is presently looking into getting that certification. She's also taking some video trainings that happen, I believe, every week. And that includes my report for these departments. Do you have any questions?
Questions? No?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fire chief.
Mayor, if it's okay, can we go ahead and let the police chief go first? He's got to get out of here and give some awards to the people.
And that's my.
Get up there, get it over with. Don't speed.
I appreciate it, Fire Chief.
If it's okay with
Oh, is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, members of the board, hope everyone's doing well. I appreciate you letting me go first. Our T-ball team, last game was yesterday. We're passing on awards here at 7, so I want to make sure I get over there for that. I don't think the fire chief would have taken 30 minutes, but I do appreciate that, buddy. You should have my report. Most of the calls are pretty consistent on what we have been seeing every month. Calls for service were a little down, which is always great. Gives us more time to do other stuff. Offensive reports were down. Traffic stops were still looking pretty good. Arrest, one off from the month prior. Business checks are back up. I found out what the issue was when the guys were checking businesses and area checks. They weren't always letting dispatch know, so there wasn't getting the documentation on that. So I reminded them to do that, so we know we're taking care of our businesses and our certain areas of our village here. I always pay attention to the auto crashes. I know I have it labeled here accidents, but it should be crashes. I always want those to be 0. As you can see, we were down to 3 last month, which was excellent. But I heard this month we had a pretty significant crash here in one of our problem areas that we'll have to look into. But numbers pretty consistent. Total incidents reported from dispatch were down, which again, that's what we like because it gives us an opportunity to do some more stuff in the community. We got our average response time back down. Last month was pretty high for us, and it could be a bunch of reasons. For instance, sometimes the guys get stuck at the railroad crossing responding to a call. After tied up with something else, there might be a delay, but we got it back down to minute and 19 seconds. It was really good compared to national average. We launched our You Are Not Alone program. It's up on the village website. We've gotten it out a little bit. Just need to get it out in the community more. I know there was some questions about what it is or how to sign up. Or if we're gonna do background checks, or if our goal is to make arrests off of people with warrants, which isn't the case. I mean, it's supposed to be a benefit for our community, our village for right now. I'm hoping other areas pick it up, but if you guys remember, it's just we're gonna attempt to make phone calls daily for people that need them. I'm very big on mental health, and if you guys, I've mentioned that plenty of times. We want to take care of our people in our community, and that's and our employees as well. So, but we're doing as much as we can to let our village here know that's a simple phone call, or just to see how someone's doing, or if they need anything from us. 1 to 5 minute phone call or longer if they need it and we have the time. Good example is our elderly that are often getting scammed. If when we make these phone calls, if we say, hey, do you have any questions? Somebody might say, this insurance company called me and they're wanting a check for $5,000. Do I send it to them? We could answer that for them and say, no, it's a scam. Let me call them. We'll call them. And, so once it gets going, I anticipate we'll get more people signing up, and it's a really, really neat program. Our flock cameras continue to work very good. I think we had 10 stolen plates, 10 vehicles from June up until into July. I think we recovered, I believe it was 7 out of the 10 plates or vehicles. And the other ones, the officers were tied up. With this, we send it out to attempt to locate the Grants PD in the county, and Grants was able to find one of the stolen vehicles as well. Got a couple arrests. Another benefit of these cameras is our grocery store repeatedly kept getting hit by a male and female in a white SUV that always parked out of camera view, and it's just the same MO over and over and over. So I got the time they pulled in. Sure enough, they crossed our flock camera on Horizon and 66, and we were able to get a license plate and a suspect just by those cameras. So plenty of benefits. GPD's called us several times to see if we could run a plate, see if they've driven in our village. And they're actually looking to pick up some cameras too, which would be great because we could all share these cameras. We've got agencies across the country that we share cameras with, and it'd be great if GPD and us had cameras to share amongst our communities. T-ball's going well. Like I said, we've had a lot of cancellations with the rain, some emergencies, but last game was yesterday. Got the awards tonight at 7. So it's I had fun with it, Mr. Mayor. We've spoken about baseball and coaching, and I hate to see the season ending, but it's we got basketball right around the corner, so that should be fun as well. We signed up to better control our training budget, what's called Virtual Academy. We have requirements through the state where we have to do this biennium training, and we could do it all on Virtual Academy, so we don't have to send guys anywhere. There's over 300 courses on this website as well, where guys, we could either, if they have something interested to them, or we could assign them training, monthly training, just to keep our training up, because we have to have a certain amount of what's called other training through the state as well. It was $55 for each officer for the year, which is well worth it. Or we don't have to send them away and pay for gas, hotels, and other, per diem food. So we're hoping that, I know it's going to be a success because it's going to save us money, and that's always great. So we had a female that she was stabbed multiple times on Elkins Road. We did get the suspect. Suspect was arrested. The 2 officers that were working when this occurred did a good job processing the scene, making an arrest, getting the paperwork done. And then, it comes in spurts. Last year I mentioned shootings. We had quite a few shootings, random shootings here and there. I believe we had 3 last week. And the suspects are, they were gone by the time the officers got there. So, I believe it's somebody local in the area. One complaint was male subject walking around with a gun in the backyard. Officers got there, couldn't find anybody. So we have some plans on how to do that safer. We finally got our drone in. We do have to get a license, Part 107 license, which hopefully we could get here, a few of us, in the next month or 2, but I don't like the idea of a member of our community saying there's a male subject walking around in my backyard with a gun and my officers are just walking back there, which that's what they got to do. But I'd rather have a drone to throw up in the air with infrared to clear that backyard safer. So the drone is going to be safer, and there's a lot of other stuff we could do. But it's taken a while, but it's finally here. They had to do some updates with that. And good thing is we used our LAPF to pay for the drone, so it didn't come out of technically the village's budget, but the Law Enforcement Protection Fund. There's other stuff we got planned, but things are going good. We're still down 1 officer because we lost the uncertified one, but things are going steady, and that's all I got. If we have any questions.
I have,
Okay.
these people that are shooting fireworks, are they getting citations? So a couple of weeks ago, on Elkins Road, on the corner of Elkins and Howie, they are shooting fireworks at midnight. I called dispatch 30 minutes before anyone came, and they shot fireworks the whole time. Last week, I called because they were shooting, someone else was shooting in another place. Dispatch said they're sending somebody. Are they getting cited?
I
And-
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any reports where they actually located anybody. We have firework complaint incident reports, but I don't remember seeing anything where anybody was actually located or cited. But you're saying you called dispatch and gave the actual address where they're coming from. if possible, if we could write down dates and times, or we could get together and I could figure out what happened and get with the officers on if they located somebody. I don't recall any citations being issued. But I don't know if they located somebody or not. I don't believe the reports I read, anybody was located.
Well, they did stop, but it was after, I'm sure an officer got there,
Yeah.
but I can't say that, but I don't know. It seems like they don't know that the 4th of July is over.
Yeah.
And that we do have people that need to sleep because they work shift work.
Yeah. No, I
Or,
agree.
you know, and this is very inconsiderate.
Yeah. I agree the same. I mean, I worked graveyards for years. And just to go along with the fireworks, you know, my sleep schedule was sleeping in mornings, and we'd always have people blasting music, and that'd wake me up. And so I could see the fireworks keeping people up at night. I guess I don't have an answer to you on what the officer did, or if he located it, or why he didn't issue a citation, if he found anybody, gave him a warning and it stopped, or if he came back later. I don't have that answer offhand. Times and dates of when this occurred, addresses would be great. That would help me out to find out who was on shift, why they did what they did, or if they went over there, or if they blew the call off, which I highly doubt. But more than likely, they're busy with something else and got over there 30 minutes later would be what I'm hoping. Now, if the call came in, fireworks, and I find out they didn't respond, then we have a different story. But dates and times, that would help me with what shift it was on. Because the reports I saw, there was no location of suspects.
Okay.
Okay.
On the same subject, I want to make a comment on that. Is it possible, you know, the village is not that big. The fireworks that some of these people shoot up in the air, they're loud and high, and is it possible that the officer can kind of know where it's coming from and head that way and put their lights, like if they're searching for, you know, that would discourage,
Yeah.
that would scoot them away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of having to wait till somebody calls and then, you know, 'cause I think you can more or less tell where it's coming from if an officer sees they go up in the air.
Yeah, and you know, and every situation's gonna be different. And I'm looking back when I was on patrol in Wisconsin or out here dealing with fireworks, and you know, there's a lot of times we got lucky and they shot up the fireworks where we're driving down that street and it's like it's right there. I totally makes sense on what you're saying, Mr. Mayor. That's if we sat there and it's like, oh, that's where the fireworks are coming from. But with anything, everything's gonna be different, if that makes sense.
Okay, we don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you need to go to the,
Okay.
it's very important that you're there. For
Yeah, and I was told if I don't collect all the uniform pants, Wanda's gonna be mad at me, so.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
No speed.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees. Thank you for letting Chief go first. I know he likes his T-ball and his team, and he's been committed to them all season, so. For my report, month of June, we had 74 calls total. 14 of those calls were fire, 50 were EMS, and 10 of them were combination calls for service, good intent, false alarms, and special incidents. In the report, I've got a list of all the fires, but I'm not going to go through them all. I'm just going to touch on the biggest fire we did have in June was that we assisted with was the Cerro Bandera fire out south of Milan here. That was a 939 acre fire. They requested a tender and 2 firefighters for 3 days on that fire, so we assisted with that, which we were lucky because we were able to keep people in district to help with grants and our own district coverage. At that time, we were in a severe drought, so since then, we've had some moisture, so everything's looking a lot better. Cibola County was on a burn ban when I wrote my report. Since then, they've lifted their burn ban. Manager and I have both talked, and we lifted ours as well. There's green all around us, and I've been issuing burn permits, which is great because everybody's been asking about their tumbleweeds in their yards, and we never could find a good solution on it, other than to take them to the landfill, and the landfill even infringed on us taking them out there to them. So we're gonna go ahead and give people a chance to get the weeds out of the yard and get our village cleaned up, I hope. We'll reevaluate this. Our storms are starting to taper off, and we've seen it's getting really hot out there. So I don't know how long this will last, but we'll keep evaluating it a week at a time or so. Facility build, the construction on the fire station. The asbestos abatement has been completed, and they did get it all. All the permits were received to go ahead and start with actual construction of it. Since then, they've really got after it. The plumbing, some contractors came in, they did all the plumbing, relocated the plumbing. The state inspector actually came in and only spent 15 minutes inside there and signed off on it. So that was great to see. This week, the electrical subcontractors were supposed to be there to start roughing in the electrical to the outlets to every office, and we even got with Mike with IT so we can get our internet and internet cables in and stuff. Once they show up, Mike's gonna come and help with that as well. Hopefully we don't have to do another change order for that, because that was not in the plan, but it's something I brought up, and we've got plenty of money to do it. But just the only bad thing is if we have to do a change order, well, then that's going to prolong the process, which I hope they're not going to have to do that. We finished the hazmat class in June. We had one volunteer, Miss McCoy. She did take the class and pass it, so now she is hazmat awareness and operations certified. So now she's eligible to go and get her Fire 1 certification. This young lady, since she's been she was on the department years ago, and then she came back, and just in a few months, she got her EMS basic license. She's got her hazmat. She did wildland. She got her wildland certifications. She's really gung-ho on it, which is a good asset to us, all of us. On the 21st, I helped Marvin and Denise and Monica with filling the pool. We used village water on the hydrant, and Joe Ray put a meter on it. And we used some old fire hoses that I had that were out of service. 153,000 gallons of water went into that pool. On the 23rd, Wanda asked me to give a presentation on fire safety and prevention to the kids at the fun club. So we were able to do that. Had a great time with the kids, and they learned a little bit. I don't know if you guys have noticed PHI, the helicopter base. They got a new double wide trailer base in there. They invited us over for cookies and milk, pizza, hot dogs. I don't know. They had a big shindig, and they're real appreciative of our service that we provide, and and theirs as well. You know, in return, it's all about saving lives. We've been starting up meetings and trainings. Dispatch is going over to the Tyler system for the CAD. So even PD will be moving over to that. It's a better system. We can track our trainings better. We can track more hours, more response times. Be able to go back and look all that up as well. The last thing I got is this year I will be applying for the state fire marshal grant again. The main project again is facility improvement, so I can continue on with our fire department for the upstairs phase 2 project. You guys saw in Candy's report, I was able to carry over $200,000. I'm going after a grant for 400,000. That's gonna be pretty dang close on being able to finish up our fire department, if awarded. I'm hoping so, because we haven't been awarded a grant in the last 3 years that I know of, so I think we got a good chance this year, especially since we've already got a project started. And if we have to stop that project, it's not gonna look very good. So, other than that, I don't have any other questions or answers.
Giving you one questions.
There's no questions, thank you, sir. Board comments, we'll start with, trustee Mercer.
Well, first I'd like to thank all the office workers and all those that really contributed to getting the budget completed so that we can get it back and get it squared away so that we can get back to business. And for all the police and all the first responders. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Lopez.
Just thanks to all the employees and stay safe out there. I know COVID's hitting hard again. Just wear your masks if you feel comfortable with it.
Mayor Pro Tem Robelo.
Well, also, I'd like to say thanks to all the employees, all the ladies that helped with the budget. It looks good. Good job. It's something that we should be proud of. You should be proud of. So, all of you that worked on it. So, thank you very much.
Okay, last night I went to watch, it's towards the end of baseball season. I went to watch 2 games at Patty Martinez. And they were all playing for the championship of their division. And one of them was the girls softball. The girls are coming up. I can tell you, they're playing on as good as the boys almost. Almost. Anyway, they were good. And then I watched the boys play, and the team that won on the ladies' side were the young lady Pirates, and on the boys' side they had the Braves were playing the Bees. The Bees won that game, but what the reason I'm mentioning it because most of the time on games like that, sometimes adults get carried away, and but this 2 games, I was very impressed with the sportsmanship by all 4 teams and the adults that were there. I think that's way all the youth-based sports should be. There shouldn't be any fighting like that. Also, there's 3 teams from our area that participated in the biggest tournament in the United States, basketball tournament, which was in Las Vegas, Nevada. We should be proud of all these teams. They did really well throughout the season. The Lady Pirates, they're one of the teams that went over there. They're young ladies that are going to go to the 7th grade now. And mind you, this is from all over the United States. They came in 3rd place, and which is the highest any team has ever come in that I know of from our area. And so I do have to mention that they're coached by Vivian, Jason, and Joshua Carlson, and they did a tremendous job. The ribbon cutting ceremony for Kernsfield was a huge success. We had great weather, great turnout. It was good to see all the oldies there. Kearns Park looks really good. And, this is because of our employees. Our parks look good because our employees take good care of them and it's all because of them. The budget report, we all listened to the budget report. I came and sat with Miss Candy and I told her, explain it to me in English because she started telling me abbreviations so, that's what I like. I really like the way she explained it to me and, this is the best budget I've seen since I've been here. And I'm serious about that. Our village finances are in good shape. And it's because of all the hard work of all our employees. They all do a tremendous job. They all deserve credit. And this time around, especially special credit should go to Candy. She has really worked hard. She mentioned there was sometimes she had to stay here till 9 o'clock at night just to get it right. So, you know, we appreciate that. We really do appreciate that. And our parks look very nice. And again, this is thanks to all our employees, our streets. Our streets really look nice. Our employees are really doing a tremendous job with our streets. And I hear that from our citizens, how good our streets and our parks are. And see, that all reflects back on the employees. They do a tremendous job. So, you know, if you see anybody at the park that is damaging the grass or the sprinklers or anything like that, call the police. The chief says it only takes a minute and a half to get there, so we'll find out if you call them. Okay, when you see a veteran, thank them for their services and sacrifices. You can donate to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, please do so. God bless the village of Milan, and may God bless America. Thank you very much. 29th, 2022, at 4:30 p.m. for public input. Planning and zoning meeting August 4th, 2022 at 4:30 p.m. Board of Trustees regular meeting August 18th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. And if there's nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
Sorry, Denise, don't we have a meeting on Tuesday?
Yes, there will be a soccer update meeting. Sorry, I can't type that fast. There will be a soccer update meeting Tuesday at
9 o'clock.
9 a.m.
Yes.
And I did advertise it as a quorum may be present, so you all can come and get an update. Because we've had so many issues with that soccer field, I think everybody needs to know what's going on.
It would be
And
nice.
it's open to the public as well.
Here?
Here, yes.
Yeah, it would be nice so you see what we go through as contractors and it's a headache, so that way, so it's, okay, with, it'll be Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Okay, if nothing else, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Brumble, second by Trustee Lopez. Trustee Mercer,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Brumble,
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.